President Robert Mugabe has ruled Zimbabwe since 1980. At first, he was lionized as the man who ended white minority rule. Then he sent his special forces to slaughter the Ndebele, an ethnic group that didn't support him. His 37-year reign has been marred by economic freefall, land seizures, and violence against anyone who spoke up against the regime.
I was severely tortured and injected with a substance that has not been identified until today.
But the military has staged a coup and forced him from power.
This is a country that has had the life sucked out of it over the last 15 years or so, and it needs desperately an opportunity to recover. It lies at the heart of the Southern African region, and Southern Africa's future and long-term prosperity is contingent on Zimbabwe's recovery.
These were the scenes in Harare the day the tanks rolled in. Zimbabweans hope that with the tyrant gone, their lives will improve. But will they? The coup comes after months of political unrest, sparked by speculation that Mr. Mugabe was planning to hand the presidency to his young wife, Grace, like a family heirloom. Grace Mugabe, who once allegedly spent £1 million in Harrods in a single visit, earning her the nickname Gucci Grace, has manoeuvred to succeed her husband in recent years.
She must resign forthwith.
At her behest, the 93-year-old president sacked Emmerson Mnangagwa, his vice president and presumed successor. Mr. Mnangagwa fled the country, but now he's back, with the army behind him. Known as the crocodile, because he bides his time before biting, he was Mr. Mugabe's henchman when Grace was still a child, and is every bit as ruthless. He has helped to rig elections to keep Mr. Mugabe in power. He also encouraged the violent takeovers of white-owned farms, destroying the country's largest industry. This caused economic chaos. The government printed money to pay its bills, leading to hyperinflation.
I was once a trillionaire.
Sylvanus Mdzvova is an activist whose one-man plays depict the corruption that has blighted the country.
Forbes magazine didn't recognize me as a trillionaire. My trillions couldn't buy even a loaf of bread.
I took a one-man play to the front of the Zimbabwean parliament and I performed it.
MPs, I come to you today and plead with you that we are suffering in this country. We have got a lot of hunger. People are dying.
They came after me in the middle of the night. They knocked down my door, pointed guns at me. They took me about 40 kilometers outside Harare. They started assaulting me. They electrocuted me on my toes, my fingers and my private parts. The result is that my whole left side is now semi-paralyzed.
Mr. Mdzvova managed to escape the country, but that night is the last time he saw his wife and children. He is now in exile in Britain and paints a bleak picture of what living in Zimbabwe is like.
Today, we no longer even have a currency. We used it to be the breadbasket of Africa, but now we are the basket case of Africa.
The Mugabes have been sidelined, but the ruling party ZANU-PF, who are just as much to blame for Zimbabwe's plight, remain firmly in charge.
Whether Robert Mugabe is the leader or not, the future under a ZANU-PF government looks bleak for most ordinary Zimbabweans.
Zimbabwe could thrive if it were well governed. Its best hope is for donors to insist on free and fair elections. Unfortunately, the opposition are disorganised, and the ruling party has never played fair. The danger is that the coup will just replace one tyrant with another. The country is stuck in a deep ditch into which Robert Mugabe drove it. Getting out will not be easy.